There's a fight. It involves a Spirit airline worker and a woman, and they're in an argument. I'll just let you see it. Here it is.
You haven't lost your mind. Don't touch me ever in your life. You touched me first, and then you got in my face. Don't ever invade my personal space.
Get out of my face!
No, I'm not. I'm here. Here.
But
I'm here. You're touching me again. Touching me again. You're touching me again.
It's all on camera.
It surely is.
You touched me.
It surely, but you in my
You're
personal
ugly
space.
ass.
You're in my personal
Out of my
space.
face.
You're in my personal space. Stay out of my personal space.
And here's where things took a turn for the worst.
You said she's touching me. She's touching me. And I'm telling you, don't put you can't put my hands.
Okay, stop it! Hey!
Now, don't you ever put your hands on me. No, get everybody back off from me. This bitch
You're not gonna fight the woman, man.
This bitch
No, watch out, man. You ain't gonna fight the woman, bro. You're not gonna fight the woman.
You got the wrong person.
Don't fight the woman, bro.
You got the wrong. Put my hands
I don't know. You ain't gonna fight.
Hey, relax.
You ain't gonna fight no woman.
Relax.
I fight whoever.
Put your hands on me.
Take a deep breath.
Put your hands on me.
I fight whoever.
Put your hands.
I fight whoever. I fight whoever.
Knock your bitch ass
Just
out.
relax.
Knock me out.
It's okay.
Knock me out.
okay.
You saw what she did.
It's all right.
I do appreciate the fact that individuals who had absolutely no obligation to step in, stepped in, and they stopped something more disastrous from happening. When I saw this post, it was an interesting title. And that title said, "Which one is the Karen?" was the title. There's a back and forth. This conflict should not have happened, should not have been this extreme, should not have become physical. I don't disagree with that. But, and I know some people will not completely see it my way. I'm fine with that. Yes, the woman did hit the male after he was very aggressive, obviously. She said some things that were antithetical to him and they were bad. I don't like some of the things she said. I don't like his actions either. But when he started chasing her, running after her, going through other people to get at her, that became even more of a problem. Now, I'm going to highlight a statement from Spirit Airlines, because he actually works for them. He's an employee. And as an employee, there are ways to de-escalate. In the beginning of that back and forth, you saw that he was aggressive toward her. She was also aggressive in response. Let me go ahead and give you the response from Spirit. Spirit Airlines and the DFW airport told WFAA in a statement Friday morning that they were aware of the altercation between the agent and the passenger. They added the vendor at DFW has suspended the agent. Spirit Airlines does not tolerate violence of any kind, and we are working with law enforcement, local law enforcement, to investigate this matter, according to the statement. Really interesting. Now, I will say this about Spirit Airlines. They don't have a great reputation for, let's say, the execution of customer service. Let me highlight another story that's extremely sad. There's another incident of controversy involving Spirit Airlines. Basically, a woman, let's put a picture up. A woman claims she got kicked off of Spirit Airlines because of her skin condition. They had mistaken her skin condition for monkeypox and they kicked off the plane. And it says in the graphic, they had me get off the plane in front of everyone, along with my wife, to interrogate me about the eczema I've had all my whole life.
What?
They asked me to provide medical documents and told my wife to watch her attitude. I've never been so humiliated in my life. Now, she was finally able to board the flight afterwards. And according to the statement, here's why. We were able to board the flight after I presented a tube of my prescribed cream, and my wife called out the CRO on being discriminatory, which is when she was told there was no need for an attitude. As we walked down the plane again, a flight attendant was walking down the aisle, and when she saw me, she promptly turned around and walked the other way, not even looking at me, as if eye contact would spread it. This happened to other people who were not so lucky to have anything with them as proof. And there's speculation, because of the adverse narrative connected with monkeypox, that this decision was made by those employees because it was a same-sex couple as well. All right, okay, that's it, top to bottom. Rick, thoughts on this?
Let me go back to something you said initially. I personally don't find anything controversial that you said about how, the moment that the employee started chasing was when you had a problem. Personally, I agree with the guy who stepped in and said, you are not gonna put your hands on a woman.
Right.
Because that is common sense. When is it ever appropriate for that to happen?
Right.
Maybe in the most extreme, gruesome circumstances is that allowed. In this, I personally feel like the woman was obviously in the wrong, and she should be given a suspension from flying because of how she treated an employee of an airline. However, I also think that the employee escalated this. He did not do anything, even under very bad circumstances, to try and negate a bad situation. I think what would have been appropriate was creating distance and calling for someone who is above him with the airline, because there are phones at every single gate, to then try and nip this in the bud. Her putting her hands on him, bad. Him attacking her, bad. Everyone in this story is kind of bad. Like there is no positive in the end. I know that the reports are saying that he got suspended. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets fired, but I would also like to see some sort of punishment for her as well.
Distance, de-escalation. He's the professional, he's the employee. She was no longer a threat to him whatsoever as he was chasing through crowds in order to retaliate. And so I see it like you see it. We agree 100%.